you to do is stand outside these walls for just a moment, in a moment of silence. And then we're going to walk over to the holding area, where the birds are brought on trucks, and see the empty trucks, and remember all the animals who will not make it out of Thanksgiving alive. But also we'll show our good faith to the folks at this plant and at this company by leaving vegan food for them at the doorways. So the workers come out later today, when they come in tomorrow morning, and yes, when they come in on Thanksgiving, they know and they see that animal rights activists have compassion for everyone. And we want to feed the world with beautiful, nourishing, peaceful food that does not have to come at the cost of animal cruelty. Does that sound good to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so let's just have a moment of silence. 30 seconds for us to think for a moment.
This is one of the largest slaughterhouses anywhere, and we're in the heart of Utah, in animal agriculture country, about to rescue 100 turkeys that are being released by the owner of the slaughterhouse as a good faith gesture for Thanksgiving, but we are going to be touring the slaughterhouse and seeing what it looks like inside. This is an unprecedented historic moment. Hundreds and hundreds of activists have gathered from around the world to take part in this. This is a shift. And actor James Cromwell, a very, very well-known actor of many TV and movies, including Babe, is here to lead.
All right, thank you, everyone. We're going to start walking over to the holdover area.
And we've got numerous social media activists who are here, mainstream media as well, and we are showing the world. This is a slaughterhouse, and we're going inside. This has never happened before. Animal activists, led by Direct Action Everywhere, entering a slaughterhouse, not surreptitiously, but at the invitation of the owner of the slaughterhouse.
It's amazing that they're giving us this kind of access.
We're be given access to this slaughterhouse. This is almost, this has never happened. It's never happened that 100 animals have been freed from the slaughterhouse by the owner of the slaughterhouse as a gesture to an organization that has done an undercover investigation here. And there were prosecutions. So
down here with the feathers.
Here we are.
The trucks they were in.
And Wayne Shung, who's the founder of Direct Action Everywhere, is leading us. Actor James Cromwell is also nearby. And we're getting to the places where animals are processed. You can see the feathers on the ground as we walk. We can see feathers on the ground.
The place where there's been so much death is going to be a place where 100 animals receive the gift of life. And where all the activists here, we weren't actually expecting everyone to be able to walk into the pens. And the slaughterhouse owner has said, that we can come and just see from the outside. But we're not going to get too close because it is dreary and drab, but we'll get up, a couple feet away and let people see just the slaughterhouse pens.
We are live in Utah, in the heart of animal agriculture country, where hundreds of activists are now entering a slaughterhouse.
Okay, folks, we're not touching anything on the property. We're not touching on the property, anything on the property at all. We're here to bear witness. We're just here to bear witness.
So, here we are. These are the trucks that these turkeys are transported in. They often travel for long distances, and you may have seen them on the road.
Again, folks, don't get too close to the trucks. We don't have consent to touch the trucks, and we have 100 turkeys we're saving later today. Let's not compromise our agreement by getting too close to the trucks. So let's keep a good 10-foot buffer from the trucks.
The same farm which is prosecuting.
Stop now.
So DXE activists have been prosecuted for doing investigations at this very facility. And now, look, they're shaking hands with some of the workers here at the slaughterhouse. That's Wayne Shung talking to what appears to be a slaughterhouse worker, and it's pretty amazing to see them coming together. And actor James Cromwell said this is the shift that's happening as we find commonalities between animal activists and the slaughterhouse owner, one of the largest slaughterhouses anywhere, that is releasing these 100 turkeys and allowing activists to come in.
A few words about what happens in the holding area and why it's so crucial for us to get animals out to sanctuary from these sorts of facilities around the Thanksgiving season. But sitting behind you is the holdover area. And when animals come to the slaughterhouse, they come in these trucks where they're pushed in, sometimes hundreds or thousands at a time. They're chicken slaughterhouse trucks that have sometimes over 1,000 animals in a single truck. Under the 28-hour law, birds are not protected at all. Mammals, in theory, are supposed to be given food and water at least once every 28 hours. But birds, rabbits, animals that are not considered animals under the Humane Slaughter Act and under federal regulations don't receive any protections whatsoever. So very often animals do end up in the holdover area with no food and water for dozens of hours. Now, I have talked to Rick in this slaughterhouse about the holdover area at Norbess. We talked about the fact that animals have died in this holdover area. And they have said that we want to try to do better. And we want to find a better path for even the animals. And I believe that they have good faith. They genuinely do believe that mistreating animals is wrong. And it is our job as activists to have conversations with people like Brandon, the worker at the slaughterhouse behind me. People who in good faith do want to do good in the world and show them that there's a better way to do what we're doing to animals. There's a better way to feed our nation and our world that doesn't involve violence against animals. And while we won't reach an agreement today, and understand Brandon is not going to be an animal rights activist today or tomorrow. Am I right, Brandon? Probably not. Well, there isn't going to be an agreement on the inherent problems of using animals for food. There will be an agreement on the importance of compassion and kindness and dialogue. Am I right, Brandon? 100%. And so today, in an effort to show that even slaughterhouse owners and animal rights activists can show compassion to one another and to animals, we'll be going from this empty slaughterhouse pen, where hundreds and thousands of birds have lost their lives, to another pen, where they're living, beautiful, sensitive creatures who have not yet been killed. And this farm, this slaughterhouse, will release these birds into our hands. Now again, I'm going to say, for emphasis, that if you have not been trained to handle a bird, these birds are larger than we expected. They are adult animals, 30 pounds or maybe more. And we need all of you to keep a safe distance, because our most important objective is to keep every single one of these animals safe so they can reach sanctuary, because they've already gone through so much. They're about to taste freedom. And now is not the time for one of us to run forward out of excitement or joy or frankly anger and interact with the bird in a way that may endanger their health. So after we move from here, and after we show appreciation and good faith for the owners of this facility, who are opening their doors, letting us see the inside of this facility, and then even sparing 100 animals to us, we need all of you to keep a safe distance. We'll hold arms with each other, lock arms to make sure no one does break ranks and run towards the pens. And then one by one, we'll call the folks who we've already trained to take an animal out of the pen and bring them to one of the trucks. So the last thing I'm going to say is this. We talked previously about Abby, about Gracie, and about the other animals that we did see at this facility who didn't make it out alive. As we walk through this facility, and even as we go to the pen, let's just remember that these animals did suffer. They did die. And this is a serious and dark place. So when we have joy and happiness for the animals we free, we should also remember the animals who will not be free. And while the day that they are all freed is not going to happen today, it's not going to happen tomorrow, the day is coming, because the conversations and relationships between myself and Rick, between myself and Brandon, we will learn from these folks. They have things to teach us, and we hope to teach you as well, Rick, about some of the things that we believe. And our hope is in the future we can create a flourishing economy, a flourishing food system, where we no longer have to use any animals for food, where all the wonderful jobs that Rick has provided the workers of St. Pete are provided to them, without harming even a single animal. But to get there, we have to believe in people. We have to believe in the future of this world. We have to believe in the people of this world, about the prospects for change. So let's do that with seriousness and somberness in our hearts, but hope and optimism for the future. We're going to walk out of this holding area to the pens where the animals are currently being held. And one by one, we'll take these animals into their cargo vans, into their vans where they'll be taken to sanctuary. Okay, let's have a moment of silence here as well for just 60 seconds, 1 minute.
It's a very emotional time for a lot of people. There's a lot of people who cried repeatedly throughout this process. People who have literally come from across the country and across the world to bear witness and to try to wake people up that there is another way, that it doesn't have to be like this. And what's really exciting is you're going to see in a little bit the turkeys, the 100 turkeys who have been given by the owner of this massive slaughterhouse. Now, of course, 47 million, an estimated 47 million are killed. And that is a cause for grief for many here and for everyone here. It should be a cause for grief.
All right, everyone, you can see the feathers,
Everyone.
the empty cages behind us. We're going to leave the ghosts in this machine and go to a place where we'll bring life to 100 animals. You ready?
Yes. Now, the liberation has begun.
All right, folks, we are leaving
Thank
the
you.
gateway of the slaughterhouse, and we are going
All right.
to state one.
We are going to leave now. We're leaving the slaughterhouse and we're heading across to, this is a woman who's come.
Folks, we all need to stay together. So if anyone walks off away from the crowd, please call them in. We're all staying together. We're following instructions. We're walking in and out in an orderly fashion.
We're leaving the cages and the darkness behind in terms of those who have lost their lives here. And we are now headed to hope. And there's young kids here who are coming to experience this. And there's also dogs. There's some dogs who are part of this journey. And you know, part of the point is to say that these turkeys are just like your dogs and cats. They have emotional lives. They experience terror. They also experience joy. They form friendships. They had mothers, and they want to live as much as you or I. So what you're watching is the future. What you're watching right now is historic. It's evolution in action. You know, people look at evolution as something for the history books, but evolution happens with every decision that is made by each individual. And when enough people have a realization about something in society that's morally wrong, they collectively join forces and get together and change the practice. Tradition is no excuse for animal abuse. And to be honest, the turkey tradition is not even that old. You know, Norman Rockwell created this iconic painting that suddenly turned into a marketing scheme for people wanting to sell animals. And there's plenty of ways to celebrate your holiday without in any way, shape, or form participating in slaughter. This is a huge slaughterhouse. Again, the owner of this slaughterhouse has graciously, as a Thanksgiving gesture, given DXC 100 turkeys. We're going to get them right now. We are leaving the slaughterhouse grounds, and you can see, look at the vast number of people who have come, activists, animal lovers. Leaving the slaughterhouse for the rescue. Heading to the 100 turkeys who are called holiday survivors. The holiday survivors. This we have to move forward, but this line is endless. And also the Save movement, which holds vigils at slaughterhouses such as this one and others, is part of this revolution, along with Anonymous for the Voiceless, Cube of Truth, and Direct Action Everywhere. And here's a mother, one of our contributors, Shannon.
Hello.
And her son, Vegan Evan.
Hi.
Are you excited to see the turkeys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So excited. This is amazing.
What do you think is educational for your son about this?
It's really gonna teach him that it's gonna reinforce what I've been teaching him, that farmers are good people. This is not us versus them. This is let's work together and let's make good changes happen for the world. And I'm so excited that he gets to see this firsthand. He just got to thank Mr. Pittman for letting us be here to rescue these turkeys today. And this is just amazing. This Thanksgiving is 22 years for me not eating an animal. And so this is like extra special for me to be able to carry one of these turkeys out today.
Thank you so much, Shannon. Thank you, Evan.
Yeah.
Really important. You're gonna walk in and you're not gonna walk any further than I ask you to. So when I say to stop, you don't get any closer than me. Okay? And we're gonna form a line. People are just gonna form a big semicircle around the pen. They're not gonna get up too close. And again, if you're not called forward, you can go back. Go back towards the porta poppies, come back towards the road, but you cannot go forward closer unless you're called in. Okay? And again, I can't use the megaphone over there, so it's really important that we all hold each other accountable. If you see someone else walking forward, let's just come back. Because we said at the beginning of this briefing, one of the most important things that we all have to do is stay calm, listen to instructions. So we're going to walk up. I'm going to start positioning people. If you're not sure where to go, don't go forward, go back, and we'll position you where you need to go. And we're going to form a big semicircle around the holding pens. All right? All right, let's do this.
Okay, we're going now to meet the turkeys. They are sensitive, intelligent creatures.
Yeah.
We don't want to spook them.
So
They've
we're
been
not gonna
very
use the
calm.
microphone there.
We've had
So-
people watching. People are holding hands now as they move through this
Actually, let's stop for one more moment.
historic event. This is the beginning of the shift as we as a culture recognize that we can celebrate and give thanks to all the good things that we have without
Sorry, folks, there's one more announcement. Can I get everyone's
anybody,
attention real quick? One
any
more thing.
sentient being having to
The
die.
last thing is if you have a blue armband and you've been trained and approved to remove a turkey from the pen, please come to the front of the line.
People
There'll
with
be
the
two lines.
with the blue
One line will be
armbands
the
have
yellow
been
line of people with
trained to
and the
remove
one
the
line will come to
turkeys
front.
from
'Cause we're not
the
gonna use the
pens.
megaphone to
So
call
the
you.
folks
We're
with
gonna
the blue
wanna find you really
armbands
quickly.
are going to be
Okay?
moving first
So,
to
the blue armband,
pick up the
come to
turkeys.
front even now.
The turkeys are approximately 30 pounds, and they will be going to a sanctuary. And we are here. The turkeys are in that tent over there, and we are just about to reach them. There are a bunch of media here taking this in. This is history in the making. Never before. You can see that we're here in the heart of Utah. The snow-capped mountains are behind us, and never before has a slaughterhouse owner given 100 turkeys to Direct Action Everywhere or any organization as a Thanksgiving gesture. And this is the same slaughterhouse where this organization did an undercover investigation that resulted in the prosecution of some of the organization's members. So it's a real coming together. It's finding commonality, and there are the turkeys, and we're going to stand by with the media. You see the folks there. You're never going to see something like this. I hope you see a lot of it in future, but you've never seen anything like this before. It is truly, 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 truly extraordinary. So we're going to be real quiet when we talk so that we don't disturb the turkeys. The main thing is for the turkeys, which you'll see in a moment, who you will see in a moment, to remain calm and happy and not stressed out. And they're going to be taken to sanctuaries, and they're going to be able to live their lives. Live their lives in happiness and joy. They will not die like the 47 million other turkeys who are going to be killed unnecessarily for this holiday. There they are, calm, cool, collected, curious. They're very curious animals, and they've displayed a lot of curiosity about what's happening today. They're like, what's going on? What's going on? It's okay. There's nothing to be scared of. We're being really quiet. because they are happy and they're calm. Most of these turkeys, by the way, never see the light of day in factory farming. They are out here because they're going to be transferred to sanctuaries. But generally, they do not touch grass. They do not see the sky. And so, you know, they're already experiencing the best day of their life because they're outside. They're breathing fresh air. The mountains are in the background, right? This is... Normally, they're kept in warehouses called concentrated animal feeding operations, where they are literally, there's no windows. These are windowless facilities. We passed many of them on the way here. So, look at these guys. Hi, how are you? They are going to sanctuary. They are going to good homes. They are not going to be killed. They are not going to suffer and experience terror. And they're just absolutely sweet. And they just want to live just like we do. And, you know, if we could just, 80% of what everybody eats is already plant-based. That's a fact. I mean, bread and vegetables and fruits and nuts. It's just 20% that are animal products. So if we just reduce that 20% down to zero, we could save the planet from cataclysmic environmental catastrophe that's the result of climate change, which is caused by animal agriculture in large part. And oh, by the way, Actor James Cromwell is here. He's leading all of this, and we'll see where he is. He's coming up in a second. Oh, there he is. There's James Cromwell, the actor, coming up. Let's see, we got him coming into view right there. You know him for many, many TV shows and movies, and he is right now the leader of this rescue. He actually shook hands with the owner of the slaughterhouse, and they had a nice conversation, and he thanked him and said that this is the start of the shift, but he's not going to be satisfied with 100 turkeys. He wants, this to grow and to then become 1,000 turkeys and 100,000 turkeys, and then maybe one day 47 million turkeys will not be killed for Thanksgiving. This can happen very quickly. There are meat alternatives now that are absolutely delicious. As I speak, back in LA, my girlfriend is preparing a Thanksgiving meal that is going to have squash and sweet potatoes and pumpkin pie and vegetables and a Gardein turkey alternative with cranberries and stuffing. Yes, you don't need animal parts to make stuffing. You can make a vegan stuffing that's absolutely beautiful. So there's so many ways to enjoy Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving with animals who are living. And if you want to get involved, you can rescue a turkey through DXE. You can go to DXE, directactioneverywhere.com, and follow the links, and you can rescue one of these turkeys and name them, and be a virtual parent of one of these animals, and maybe even visit them in whatever sanctuary they end up in. But they're going to live great lives. I have visited sanctuaries and spent time with turkeys at Farm Sanctuary, at Woodstock Animal Sanctuary, at the Gentle Barn Sanctuary, and at many other sanctuaries, the Love Always Sanctuary. And these animals, they do live great lives in these sanctuaries. So you can see that the activists have created a circle. Let me do a 360 here. A circle around the entire pen. And there it is. They're holding hands.
So they're coming out to here just quick.
And Jane Unchained is live in Utah, near Freedom, Utah. What a perfect name for what's happening today as these birds get their freedom. And, the whole point, please share this video, because the whole point is to give people an opportunity to see that they've got options. They don't have to, I'm gonna move around here. They don't have to kill animals to enjoy their holiday. And there's so many other options. And this is the moment to take advantage of those options. This is where, these are the days where people make their recipes and their menus. And there's so many alternatives. Tofurkey, field roasts, Gardein, and the list goes on and on and on. Daya. You can get these even in, here we go. Here's Wayne Shung coming in. He's the DXE founder who is coming in to get one of the turkeys. There we go. Well done. Yes, Wayne Shung is actually taking the first turkey, and that turkey is large. He's going to go into a pen, or she, and Zoe Rooster, the woman who held the turkey after the turkey was picked up, is not only a renowned animal activist, but she's very well known for working with turkeys, and she knows how to comfort them. See, you pet them just like you would pet a dog or a cat, and you comfort them and make them feel calm, cool, and collected. So we've got some folks here who are coming in. Wayne? And these are some of the workers, I believe, from the slaughterhouse coming in and helping. They're helping by removing the feed, the water mechanism for the birds. And just to let you know, this is a good lesson in how complicated it is to handle animals. So people who say, oh, I've got the humane meat, you know what? There's no easy way to kill 74 billion animals, and that's how many animals are killed every year in this world. 74 billion of these beings, and it's just 100 turkeys, and see how complicated it is. So if you think, oh, it's handled, I have humane meat, and everything's fine. No, there is no nice way to process millions of animals, and as the human population grows, the number of animals being killed is growing exponentially. And unfortunately, people in other parts of the world are following America's lead and creating fast food. And now they're getting some of the same, problems that Americans face in terms of obesity and heart disease and all sorts of other problems that come with the heavy, what they call the standard American diet. So the truth is that there is no such thing as humane meat. There's no nice way to kill an animal who doesn't want to die. And you can see how complicated it is just to transport 100 turkeys. 47 million turkeys are taken to slaughterhouses and killed for this upcoming holiday called Thanksgiving, which we have, actually commercial interests have, through advertising and other things, convinced people, indoctrinated them, conditioned to think, you've got to have that turkey or you haven't enjoyed Thanksgiving. It's nonsense. I have never, since I was a child, sat in a room with a dead animal. In fact, I walked off the set of a TV show. I pulled my chair back when they brought a turkey out and they wanted me to pose in a group shot. And I said I wouldn't do it because I'm not going to participate in the indoctrination that normalizes violence. So just know that there's plenty of other ways to have a wonderful Thanksgiving without hurting these animals. Now, when it comes to Easter, there's plenty of ways to celebrate Easter without killing pigs for hens. There's no excuse for animal abuse. These animals don't want to die. They really, really, really want to live. So we're seeing now what's happening around the bend. Let me go around the bend and see what's happening with one turkey that was picked up. And Zoe Rooster, who's an amazing activist, is holding that turkey. And let's see. Got a lot of media here. I'm going to sneak in for 1 second. Thank you.
They don't know where they're going, but they're going to a beautiful place. And I think
This baby, look.
okay.
Do we know where this boat's going, guys?
Don't know what turkeys are like. They're incredibly lovely.
There's Zoe Rooster, and she has worked with and rescued many, many, many turkeys. And then this woman who is facing charges, actually, as a result of her activism, this senior citizen, she has faced charges, and she's the first one to take the animal. And this lovely senior citizen, look at that baby, going to freedom. And this is happening in Freedom, Utah, which is so amazing because Freedom, Utah
rescuing Abby, and today she's back at the farm and she's rescuing this adorable turkey.
let's put her
Diane,
just
how do
one
you
at a
feel?
I'm so excited. This is just wonderful.
The moment we've all been waiting for. There we go, baby. Woo! You're safe now. Yes, you are.
So she's on her way to Sanctuary.
On her way to sanctuary and shelter.
Medical care
and-
on her way. Diane, did you ever think this would be possible? The same farm which prosecuted you, releasing birds
I'm
to you.
actually walking out in broad daylight with a beautiful little girl in my arms.
Yeah.
And,
And
she's
you've been part of actions where the police, the farm workers, the slaughterhouse workers have ripped animals out of our arms, and this is the
Yes.
complete opposite,
It's
right?
the exact opposite. It's just like such a wonderful feeling to just walk out with that beautiful girl and know that she's going to have such a wonderful life now, and no one's going to try to hurt her or take her away from us.
Yeah.
So happy.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank you.
Is this a moment that you ever thought would happen?
I have to say, I never did picture this, for sure. I always felt if I walked out with someone, it would be in the dark of night. Yeah. So
And you were actually facing charges here for coming in.
Yeah, I was. So, up to 20 years, actually.
20 years in prison.
Yeah, 20 years in prison. Now I have a probation just for 3 months, so I got to really reduce it. So,
Do you have hope for this world now?
oh, I have a lot of hope for this world. I can see this is just the beginning. This is like kind of a beautiful beginning of something new and wonderful that's happening in this world. I think people are changing. There's kind of like something going on inside people where they're kind of waking up a little bit by little, and as this movement grows and as activism grows and people around the world are like making changes in their lives, one day this place is going to be either a sanctuary or perhaps a plant-based meat type of a operation, something good and clean and happy.
Last question.
Sure.
I'm running out of batteries, and I know you've had a very long day.
Oh, sure.
Are crying with happiness, as are many people watching. What would you say to people who still feel sort of compelled that they need to have that animal on their plate to fulfill some notion that they've been conditioned to believe, whether it's a Norman Rockwell painting or a TV ad, that that's how you do Thanksgiving?
Right, yeah, I think the meaning of tradition should always change. I mean, tradition should be something that is meaningful and beautiful, and once you realize that tradition is no longer a beautiful thing, but actually a really ugly thing, you can change it. You can make beautiful, new, compassionate traditions for yourself.
Tradition is a living thing,
It
just like
is.
this turkey.
It can evolve, just like
and
people.
it can evolve, just
yeah,
like people
and just like
can
the
evolve.
world is going to evolve now.
Thank you so much. And
Sure.
tell me your name once again.
Diane Gandy Sorby.
Diane, thank you so much for your heroism, and you're one of my heroes. Thank you so much.
thank you,
So there is the first turkey. Are you going to name this turkey? Who's going to name this turkey? Maybe we should. What? Oh, this is the second turkey. Okay, there was one that came out already. Hello, honey. How are you, baby? You're safe now. And see the children here. We've got Nico and Evan who are watching this and just loving every second, as well as one of my favorites. Tell me your name.
King Zoom the Viking Kid.
Okay, so are you enjoying this moment?
I sure am.
Tell me, what would you say to, parents who feel, well, if I don't get my kid a turkey on the plate for Thanksgiving, I'm cheating him or her.
No, I love how this turkeys are coming to a great sanctuary for them.
Exactly. That's a better gift for these kids.
for sure.
That they could go to a sanctuary. Hi, Nico. Hi, Evan. They could go to a sanctuary and see these turkeys, and you can take your kids. These boys have been to many sanctuaries, and that's a much better treat than just eating an animal. So, hi, honey. How are you? You're safe, baby. I'm so happy you're safe. You're safe. We love you so much. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's going to be okay. One day we'll be able to rescue all of your brothers and sisters and cousins.
Yes, you're happy. Oh, he's so cute.
What'd you say?
Yeah, he's so happy.
Yeah, he is happy. So I think we'll wrap it up by talking to you, Nico and Evan. What do you have to say to people about what they should do on Thanksgiving?
So I think that they should probably eat vegan food, and that